My 29 male, wife, 28 female, is pregnant, but I found out she's been cheating on me on regular basis with a good friend, 29M of ours. It's just been a day since I made the first article, but there has been a significant change. The decision is no longer simply whether or not to forgive her, but rather how to move from here. I will not offer any more updates until specifically asked to do so, or unless anything significant happens. So I approached my friend, who happens to live close to my parents' beach house, where I'm now vacationing, and invited him over for a chat. The following is a general outline of what transpired. Then I took him aside after a few casual conversations. I could see he was bewildered, maybe even worried, but he exuded confidence. I wasn't looking my best, but he could tell I looked fatigued from his expression. I put him down and decided to write in script format since it's easier for me to write in script format now that I've had a few drinks. Me. What exactly is going on with wife him? The last time I saw her was probably at your house, so I'm not sure. Okay, since I already knew what happened, I tried to keep the conversation as open-ended as possible in case he admitted to something I wasn't previously aware of. After a period of denial and a fabricated misunderstanding, he finally admits his guilt. Didn't she tell you that we've been F about all night? His words, not mine. Me, not in great detail, but that's why I'm here him. Not in great detail, but that's why I'm here. He did not lie after that, and I went on to ask him a lot of questions that I regret asking, some of which were about emotional self-harm, I believe, but he was more than happy to reply, which was really off-putting. My brain is spinning with questions like, how often, when, and where, among other more embarrassing questions, and I feel like a complete and utter F idiot for not knowing these things before today. The only thing he is certain of is that the child is not his own child. I'm not sure what it is about him that makes him so assured, but I'm inclined to believe him for whatever reason. I want to give my baby the best life possible. I did everything right. I make money, I'm attractive, I work out. I treated my wife like the goddess I truly believed she was. All she had to do was let me love her, and I would have given her and our child everything. We had just bought a house when she told me she was pregnant, and I was overjoyed, only to have this happen. After this encounter, my friend offered to hang out to make sure I was okay. We've been friends for years, and he knows I've had mental health issues in the past, and he was being a good guy by looking out for me, but honestly, I think he just wanted to stay and drink all my booze while laughing in my face and sleeping with my wife. I hit him, he claimed he deserved it, and then he walked away. I messaged my wife to let her know I was aware of the continued connection. She answered with, "Let's speak about this in person," to which I replied that I didn't want to look at her. She did not reply. Anyway, here's where the advice comes in. Naturally, I believe the next logical step is to abandon her. I really, truly don't want to. I know that's not what I meant to say. I know I'm supposed to want to exact vengeance and leave her out on her with nothing, but that's simply not in me. I had a plan for my life, and that plan included her. I know it's difficult for folks to believe that things may be more than black and white online. I assumed she loved me, since they were the first things she spoke to me every day. If she wasn't pregnant, I'd leave, and I'm still thinking about it. I just want to know how to be a decent father and ex-husband. Ideally, I'd obtain primary custody, but as we all know, that's not always easy for the male. The obvious one is financial assistance. Second, I'd want to know where I'm going from here, if I'll meet her in person, and I don't want any more details since what my buddy gave me is enough horrible knowledge to last me a terrible lifetime. She is presently residing in our house, something I did not plan for since I was not anticipating it. No prenup, my parents are rich bohemian artist types, and they will be of no emotional assistance. For Christ's sake, they were swingers. This irritates me. Update: I've gotten some consistent sleep, and despite the fact that I've slept all day, I feel rested. I've scheduled a meeting with my wife, who has said she will make us dinner, and we will sit down and discuss what happens next. I know a lot of people have told me not to see or talk to her, but I need to know why. I also need to inform her that I want a paternity test. I've greatly enjoyed everyone's warm words and constructive critiques. I feel like I have a tiny community on my side, which has allowed me to go through this in a healthy manner. Perhaps it's been a diversion, but I'd needed it, and I'd want to keep everyone who's interested in the loop since it makes me feel heard. Thank you once again. Update 2. The dinner took place. She prepared my favorite dish. She was stunningly dressed. She was attempting to make things difficult for me. I was eager to see her when I entered the home since I had spent the whole time in the vehicle preparing what I was going to say and trying to think about all the F-up things my buddy told me to fire myself up. But as I entered the house and smelled her cooking and perfume, I struggled. After she attempted to kiss me, but I shoved her away, she gave me a drink, which I accepted, and I sat down at the table, after which she brought me my dinner and sat down. We sat in quiet for a while as I ate. I hadn't eaten since finding out, so I was surprised to be able to get in a few bits before the stress of the situation got the better of me. I drank my drink and said, "So, why did you do it?" while she was preparing me another. Her first remark was, "I'm not sure." This irritated me. How could she not know? So I repeated myself, and this is when she began to open up a bit more, as if she sensed my frustration. She sat down and told me that she simply felt stuck and that she wanted something apart from me. In greater detail, but that was the idea, she said she loved me, but that she occasionally needed a break from reality. When I inquired whether the baby was mine, she claimed it was. I asked her how she knew, and she told me that a friend of hers had a vasectomy. That seemed like something he would have told me, so I told her I didn't trust her and demanded a paternity test. She readily consented, as she usually does. She's always been nice and open to my ideas. After she agreed, I asked her why she didn't communicate to me if she was unhappy. If she needed a break from reality, I would have paid for a trip or a spa week, or if she wanted to start a side activity, I would have been fully supportive. I started crying while I was saying this. She stood up and pressed my head against her chest. This is when I went wrong. I simply hugged her and wept, and as she comforted me, she raised my head and began kissing me. I didn't push her away for a few moments since I knew it was the final time I'd have an intimate moment with her, and I wanted to lament her embrace. After a time, I snapped out of it and immediately stood up. I went to the bar and poured myself one more drink before telling her that we were getting a divorce after the exam. This is when she started crying and told me I needed to be there for our kid because she won't be able to be the best mother she can be without her strength. Apparently, I'm her strength at her side. I was going to leave after some back and forth, but she suggested I should remain since I was drinking. So I went to sleep in the guest room, but she insisted on sleeping in the same bed for old time's sake. I let her hold me in her slumber, but I stayed lifeless in her arms. Then I slipped away as soon as the light came up. I've returned to the seaside cottage. I contacted a lawyer. Last update, I'm back at home, and she's here as well. We're not sleeping in the same room, and no, I'm not taking her back. It'll simply make it simpler to arrange the divorce. It wasn't her idea, it was mine. We attempted on my first day back. I couldn't make it work. Too many pictures of her and my buddy. She seemed to have accepted the divorce. She has begged briefly and insists on her love for me. I told her that I still loved her, but that I couldn't forgive her. We haven't corresponded much since then. I've spoken with my attorney. Tonight I'm going out with a female. My lawyer instructed me not to visit anybody during this period, but I need to. I'm feeling better. I had a dark time in which I considered some awful things, but I instantly snapped out of it as I remembered my possible kid. I'm also so valuable to so many people that I am eager to return to my human form. I appreciate everyone checking in on me even after a few days. Things have progressed so swiftly that I'm astounded by how quickly one's life may change. I got a drunken phone call from a buddy, and although I have an understanding of why he did what he did to me, it is not an explanation, and I do not forgive him. The phone call was probably what jolted me out of my funk. He practically revealed to me that he was bitter and jealous of me. At the very least, it was a boost to my ego. Thank you once again to everyone